guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Zoe, but most people know me as 𝘼𝙢𝙗𝙗𝙀𝙁 Reptiles. And I do my best to try to post twice a week, Mondays and Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But there is just, you know, a lot going on. But today I figured to do a reptile mom vlog because it's been a hot minute since I've done one of those. And take you through my day with me. So you can see everything I've got going on and we can catch up and I can tell you everything that's been happening because it's a lot. If you're not familiar with Bamboo Earth, they are like literally my favorite when it comes to anything skincare. This is my favorite ever lotion. It's their Head to Grain moisturizer and I'm obsessed with it. But Bamboo Earth is like eco-friendly, cruelty-free, has like ingredients that you can actually read. And I've said it before, but I didn't give two hoots about skincare. I had no skincare routine. Because at the time, I think I was like 21 or 22. And I was like, you know what? I'm in my 20s now. It's time for me to be an adult and have a skincare routine. And then I found Bamboo Earth and it fit right in with the whole eco-friendly vibe that I'm going for. So I got a test kit, loved everything, and I've been using them ever since. If you would like to check them out, there is a link in my description. And if you use the code BLUEIGUANA, you get a discount. I don't remember what the discount is, but you do get one. All right, so what we've got going on today, I went for a 2-mile walk to start off my morning. I've been trying to really commit to adding in more steps, especially since this last year I had become self-employed and I work from home. And I did more coaching this winter than I did skating myself. So I've become very, what's the word, sedentary? Basically my steps were extremely low and it finally just like clicked for me. And plus now it's sunny and it's nice outside. So I have been committing to at minimum 2 miles a day, maximum 3, because I have hip issues from figure skating. So I do have to kind of be mindful of what my body can handle. But everyone says just going for walks can go a long way. So 2 miles a day. So I did that this morning so I could take a shower and get on with my day. So it is, oh, it's already 11. I'm gonna let my hair dry and then we're gonna come back to it and fix the front. So we're gonna start with some animal chores. Our dishwasher actually isn't working, so I do have to hand wash a whole crap ton of dishes because I want to do, you know, prepping meals and whatnot. And my kitchen counter is covered in dishes from last night that I have to hand wash. All right, so we are gonna start off with checking on everybody and then we're gonna do some cleaning. The reptile room has kind of turned into a little bit of a mess. So we're just gonna go through and check on everyone, see how everyone's doing. Obviously there's Cusco, so he's looking good. Reptar is asleep in his log. His tail right there. Zero's up here. Spinderella is actually using her cork log, which is pretty cool, so I can actually see her. Here's Crikey waiting to eat. Gotta pull this out. I gave him 3 Reptilings the other day. He ate 2 out of 3. I figured 3 might be much, but just in case he was really hungry, I figured I would give him 3. We'll say good morning to Miss Puka. Hi, Puka. So basically the first thing I do in the morning is just check on everybody, make sure everyone's lights are working. So we'll see down here that Alfredo's UVB is not working. Alfredo's my legless lizard. And the reason for that is he was climbing around and unplugged it because he apparently pulled on the cord. So I need to unscrew the caging so I can plug it back in, which is going to be a project. So we have to do that today. But other than that, everyone's lights are on and working. Everything looks good. You need to clean some waters, change some paper towels. My bearded dragon and my uromastyx are on paper towel because the minute I fill that with any sort of sand or rocky substrate, they're gonna be very heavy. And hopefully, very soon, they're gonna be moving to the basement. More on that in a little bit. So I'm keeping them on paper towel for now so that the enclosures can be a little bit lighter to be able to move down there. What's the matter? Do you have to go outside? Do you want to go outside? Come on, let's go outside. Okay. It's so nice outside. So I'm actually going to be filming a video out here today later. It's a video that everyone's been waiting on, or at least some people have been waiting on, but I needed nice weather to be able to film it. When I say nice weather, ooh, there's a spider hanging. I'm going back inside. So when I say nice weather, I mean like warm weather, because we're taking an animal outside to film in a little bit. But first we have to get our indoor stuff done, depending on how these are doing. So for our meals today, we have some Reptiles. And this is something new that I thought I would try, where it's like, you know, I've got my meals planned for the day for the animals that eat Reptiles, for the animals that are going to be having Reptiles this day. And I vacuum seal them and put them in the freezer. That way they're ready to go. And I can just pull out a pack and boom, there's the food for the day. So I'm not having to open up like several different bags. The problem with this is that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kinds of links here in different sizes. So I have to remember what link is what and what each link is for, or who it's for. Luckily these are pretty obvious, but I realized that'd be challenging. So I only made the 1 pack, and we're going to kind of rethink this idea. I think now would be a good time to give you guys the first of the updates, because, you know, I just need to clean my desk. I can't efficiently work at my desk if it's a mess. So I'm gonna clean my desk and talk to you guys about what is coming up. So the first update is, as you guys know, I have a reptile education business. Right now it's just a traveling business, but one day I would love to have a physical location, a little education center where people can come, kids can have birthday parties, the whole 9 yards. Look at these new bumper stickers I just got in. These are in my Etsy shop, but one of my friends sent me a bumper sticker that was like, I forget what it was, a stop for something, and they sent it to me and they're like, you need one of these for reptiles because you never have gas and you stop for turtles, you do turtle rehab. And I was like, perfect. So of course I made it, and then I put it in my Etsy shop, Herpetology. Link is in the description. Anyway, and actually I do want to mention that every purchase from Herpetology helps with the animal care. That's the reason I created Herpetology. It was money for the animals, and now this money is really helpful for what we're currently working on, as well as maintaining the education business. So any purchase is highly appreciated. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Someday I'd like a physical location. Well, there's this little building down the road from my house that every time I drive by, I'm like, man, that looks like it would be a great location. It had big windows in the front. The building was long, so I could just imagine enclosures going down each side of the walls with like tables in the middle, kind of like Clint's reptile room. So if you watched any of Clint's reptiles videos, or you've seen the other creators that went to his reptile room last year. Was it this year or last year? I think it was last year. You know that he's got like enclosures on the sides and then like seating in the middle for people to hang out. So it's kind of how the layout would have been for this particular building. Now I'm not in any place right now to have a physical location and add on that financial burden, because I am extremely in debt, like most people, especially those in their mid-20s after college. However, this building came up on Facebook Marketplace as being available, already zoned for commercial businesses, and it was only $500 a month. And this woman, the landlord, said that whoever was renting it could renovate it however they wanted. She didn't care as long as the building was well taken care of. Okay, so I was like, you know what? This is a building, every time I drive by it, I'm like, this looks like it'd be perfect. $500 a month. So I went and looked at it, and I actually vlogged that whole day. That was going to be one of my first Reptile Mom vlogs that I've done in years. Now this is the one instead. But I vlogged that whole day because I went with the intention of signing the lease. I was so excited, and I was like, you know what, if I can get it up and running and open, I can easily do $500 a month. What I wasn't accounting for was electric, gas, Wi-Fi, you name it. So it was going to actually be more like $700 to $800 a month. But anyway, I went, I looked, you know, there were so many things about it that were perfect for what I wanted to do. There was outlets all along the wall, which was amazing. If you keep reptiles, you know outlets are like a high demand item. There was a huge back room, which could have been my office, and where I kept a lot of the ambassador animals that go out on programs a lot, so they could, you know, be out of the public eye and have a space where, you know, they weren't being looked at all the time. Like, there was just so much potential in this building. But the two people that know about renovations best, my dad and my boyfriend, were both at work. So it's just my mom and I going to look at the building. And because a lot of people wanted this building, I had to give a quick answer. Now at the time, I was her top pick because my business is very unique, right? Bring something unique to the area. So if I wanted it, I had to give a very quick turnaround decision, like by the end of the day. Now, I got home to think about it and I became very stressed. It was something I really wanted to do, but there was something in my gut telling me this isn't the right place for the right time. And I'm so glad that the world was working in my favor, because I called her $500 in hand and said, let's do this. I just want to read through the lease first, make sure there's a couple of things in there that, you know, we want included. And she said, the people that I just saw, I actually also really like, so now it's between the two of you and I don't know who I want. I need to sleep on it. And that was the best news I could have gotten, because it gave me more time to sit and think and time to actually talk to those who know about renovating when they got out of work, to determine that this just wasn't the right place and it wasn't the right time and I need to listen to my gut. So thank goodness that these other people came along, because I was able to make an informed and educated decision and know there was no longer a rush for me to give an answer. So I turned it down, said it wasn't the right time. And another reason I did that was because I realized that a lot of my loans, my student loans, my car loan, they're all very close to being paid off. So I figured right now I just need to focus on working really hard, trying to bring in extra income so that not only can I pay my bills, but I can pay more and try to get rid of this debt as soon as I can. So that's the new plan. So that's my first update, is I actually looked at a place. I teased it on Instagram, actually, on my stories. And I thought I was gonna have a whole vlog about how, surprise, I purchased a building and I have a reptile facility now. I don't, not yet. But it really kind of gave me even more motivation to try to achieve this dream, because now that I've almost done it and I've seen how excited people got about it, I'm realizing it actually is possible. It's not just something that, you know, I can hope for or that I'm going to dream of. It's something I can actually do. I almost just did it at 26 years old. It's more of a story. If you want something to happen, you can make it happen. Now here's the other big struggle with our dishwasher not working. Normally I would pull all of the water dishes and all of the food dishes, load them into the dishwasher, run it, clean them all at once, and then they're super clean and ready to go. That has been the system that I've gotten into, which has saved me so much time and been so convenient. But now I have to go back to washing everything by hand. It seems like such a spoiled problem to have, but I truly have been so spoiled with our dishwasher that I'm like now dreading cleaning water dishes, because it's gonna take me some time again. You know, I love having my animals, I love having my mini zoo, I love having my education business, but if there was one thing that I could just do without for the rest of my life, it's changing water dishes. I'm not gonna lie. It's like the most tedious and mundane task, but you've gotta do it, you know? Little tip for you guys, if you're struggling with humidity in an enclosure, put the water dish with the heat, because the heat will make the water evaporate and therefore create humidity. You might have to refill your water more often though, so just keep that in mind. So when I go around and I work in enclosures, I also just spot clean, which is why you saw me with that little bucket, because if I see any poop or urates, I will pull it right out. That way the enclosures stay cleaner and waste isn't building up in them. As you guys know, I've been saying we're renovating the basement. We're gonna make it this big, epic reptile room, right? That has been 2 years in the process. We have made no progress on it until now. The reason it's taken so long is because it's a very costly project. It's an unfinished ceiling, which freaks me out. So I wanted to paint it so it looked nicer. That alone was going to cost a bit of money and a lot of time. But now that I can see how legitimate my goal to have a facility actually is and how possible it is, I don't want to dump a ton of time and money into the basement. I just want to get a bare minimum done where I can feel comfortable putting the animals down there and I can feel comfortable being down there so that I can continue to focus on growing my business, making YouTube videos, bringing in more income, and really working towards this goal and this dream. So that being said, this project just got a whole lot easier and a whole lot cheaper. So I actually have already ordered the paint for the walls and it comes in next week. So I'm hoping next week we can start painting. But I do have a little fundraiser going on right now if you would like to help support the expansion of my education business, because this project, am I just gonna give you all of the like updates and sneak peeks right now? I might. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the next piece of information. I have not only new animals, but animals that are going to be joining us. And these animals have been in the works for some of them over a year or two, year and a half, but they can't join us until the basement is done due to space. And one of these animals in particular is kind of a big deal, and I have a feeling you guys are gonna be very excited about it. I've been very excited about it, and it's been really hard to wait this past year and a half for this animal to come and join us, which is giving me even more motivation to get this stupid basement done. So if you'd like to help support the growth and expansion of our traveling education business and help me one day hopefully reach my goal of having an education facility, I have a fundraiser going on right now on Etsy, right in my shop, Herpetology, where I have 5x7 prints of all of the gemstone animals that I've done. You know, we've got crested geckos. This is my new favorite. This is the newest one I've done, and I think it is officially my favorite. It's frog, leopard gecko, ball python, chameleon was actually one of the first ones I did, and still a favorite to this day. Of course, bearded dragons. Fiji iguana is my other favorite, but it's not quite as popular because not as many people know Fiji iguanas. I also have a tortoise, which is super pretty, but that's the one that's been selling the most. Let me see, I think I have one right here. This is a leopard tortoise. This one's probably the most popular and my other big favorite. So not only do you get a 5x7 print, but you get this pretty big sticker that says advocate, educate, appreciate, and it has some of the more misunderstood animals like scorpions, venomous snakes, frogs, gators. And this design was originally used for t-shirts that I did when I started my education business and needed insurance. And insurance is not cheap when you work with snakes and you bring snakes to schools. So I sold this design on t-shirts, just in all white, to raise money for my business insurance. So I decided that it was time to give it some color and some life and turn it into a sticker. So for a $20, I don't want to call it donation, but for a $20 purchase, you know, no shipping, shipping is free, you get a 5x7 print of your choice and an education sticker. And that money directly goes into helping with the basement renovation. So that's, you know, getting the proper paint for the floor, equipment to do electrical work, you know, changing out all the outlets for GFI outlets so that it's safe. We have to build a wall to block off kind of the area that has a lot of the house equipment, we'll say, so like the fuel oil tank, the whatever electric box, I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but to kind of block all that area off. It's also going to be a closet where I can store travel bins and display tanks for events and my wheeling carts and everything, so all my supplies. Get a sink for down there, hook it all up. I have a couple other enclosures I have to build, like the two boas back here, Samoa and Kronk. I have to build their 6x3x3 enclosures. So as much as the project's gotten easier, it still has quite a bit of expenses before I can really just move everyone down there and set it up. So this little fundraiser is what I did to try to help with that. And I really appreciate everyone that has already purchased. If you don't necessarily want to buy anything from the shop, but you still would like to make a donation, message me on Instagram and I can send you the Venmo for my business. But I'm not one to just kind of ask for handouts. I like to earn things, which is why I came up with something to sell in the shop to raise money for this project. But I have been approached by some people that, you know, don't want physical items, they just want to help. So if that is you, I really appreciate you and thank you so much. Message me on Instagram and I will give you my Venmo so you can make a donation. All right, that was a little chaotic and all over the place. Okay, so we covered that I'm working on the basement. Hopefully that will start next week, officially, finally. I almost leased the building, but I didn't. We've got some new animals coming. We have some new animals, one of which I am so excited to share with you guys. This is kind of an unusual, I don't call it an unusual, but not a very popular animal not very commonly found in the pet trade, not yet anyway, and I am so excited to share him with you. This is an animal that I have not shut up about for like the past year, and every time I see this breeder at expos, I go talk to her, I see the animals, and I'm like, someday, someday, someday. This last expo, Billy went with me. If you don't know, Billy is my boyfriend. And of course, I brought him over to introduce him to her, show him these animals, and he ended up buying one for me as an early birthday and early anniversary present, both of which aren't until July, so a little bit early, but I'll take it. However, as much as he warmed up to us quickly at the expo, since being home and being in a new setup, he has been very shy and has not eaten yet. At least I don't think he has eaten yet. But they do say that it can take like a week and a half or so for them to get comfortable and start exploring and then starting to eat. So I'm not worrying yet, but I'm gonna give it another day or two, and if I still think he's not eating, I'm going to reach out to this breeder. So I don't want to share him with you yet until I know that he is like good to go. However, I am in the process of currently setting up a collaboration for his announcement. So you guys will get to see him and his new enclosure. I'm really like cranking down on the last of the upgrades that I have to do, so that this basement project is just like, once it's ready, I just move everybody right in. However, the most important ones are Kronk and Samoa, the two big boas, because needless to say, they are going to be underneath some other enclosures because they're the biggest ones. So if they're not done, I can't move the others down. So they do have to be kind of the first things that I do. On top of another new animal that we have that if you follow me on Instagram, you already know about. If not, that's what we're filming today, is her introduction video. So I won't show her in this video. If you want to see her introduction video, that will be the next video. So you're just gonna have to subscribe, like, you know, the whole shebang, so that you don't miss it on Friday. But that's why I'm doing my hair and makeup today, so that I can film that video. But she's another kind of big one. I already have pretty much everything I need to build her setup, but I'm not building it until the floor is painted down there. Otherwise I have to just like keep moving it all around, and I'd rather not do that. All right, I think that is good enough. Yes, the cage's enclosure is still sitting on my dining room table, much to Billy's dismay. I think I did officially decide that I'm going to put it together for my pancake tortoise though, so I need to silicone it and get started on that so that it's ready to go when the basement is done. All right, so I'm gonna take you down to the basement. It's been a while since we've been down there and kind of gotten an update. You gonna come down with me? She used to love the basement, now she's scared of the basement, I don't know why. All right, I'm going down without you. You're gonna come with me? Okay. So it's been a hot minute since I brought you guys down here to kind of show you what's going on, what the plan is. But here is the basement. And this kind of reminds me that I don't think I've announced this on YouTube yet. I did announce it on Instagram, but the whole point of this vlog is just to give you a whole bunch of updates on what's been going on in my life and what's coming. So I do want to share with you guys that unfortunately Muppet, my Argentine Tegu, did unexpectedly pass away earlier this year during the winter time. Don't really know why. Best guess is issues with brumation maybe. It's the first season that she's ever even attempted to brumate, at least in the time that I've had her. So it was unexpected, but I'm glad I did get to spend her final days with her. I was actually supposed to be leaving for a skating competition with my students. Luckily, my dad filled in for me so that I could stay here with Muppet, but unfortunately she did pass away. So Muppet, my Tegu, is no longer with us. I did announce it on Instagram, but I don't think I ever announced it here. So you'll see that Muppet's enclosure is still here. However, it houses our new animal that we're actually making a video for today. So I had it all cleaned out and whatnot, and I was getting ready to tear it down when I was reached out to by the people that had this animal, and they wanted to rehome it. They were hoping it would go somewhere it could do education. So it ended up being perfect. So that animal is currently in here until the basement is painted. One of my, I don't want to say next videos, but upcoming videos is going to be putting together an outdoor enclosure for reptiles, specifically for this animal and the new one I've been waiting a year for, so that she can move out of the basement while we paint. So she's not down here with all the paint fumes and dust and whatnot. So I am collaborating with a company on that, so stay tuned because it should be pretty cool. So I'm excited. But then here's part of the wood that's gonna help me with the enclosure for this animal so that I can get rid of this big tent. You know, they're inexpensive, they're huge, they're awesome, but obviously they're not super aesthetically pleasing. I also hate cleaning them, and I don't know, there's something about them that I'm not a huge fan of. So for like inexpensive, quick and easy, they're great, but long term, I want something more custom built. So that wood is part of that project, that's all I'm saying. All right, let me give you a tour, and you're gonna use your imagination because I'm gonna tell you where everything is going. So obviously, here's the stairs, here's our fuel oil tank, back here we've got like electrical and everything. So this is where that wall is gonna go that I talked about. Over here we have the door to go outside. So there's going to be a door for the closet over here so I can walk in, and then I can walk back, and that's all gonna be storage area. So unfortunately, I lose 2 windows, but I have 2 windows over here. So it is what it is. Those windows look under our porch anyway, so they really don't provide that much light. A wall across here, which means enclosures can go here. So I have 2 big enclosures going right here. I can't tell you what they are, who's going in them, but 2 big enclosures. And then this whole wall is just going to be all the other enclosures, all the 4x2x2s, 5x2x2s. I just realized I had Samoa along this wall, but she's a 6x3x3, so she's going to stick out. I didn't plan that very well. I'm gonna have to go back to my blueprints. But anyway, so then here's another wall where there's going to be enclosures, except this like corner, because there's that thing there. And then we come over here, and we've got the kitchen area. No, the washer and dryer are gonna move. They're gonna go way back there behind the closet so that no animals can go underneath them, but also then I don't have to see them. Over here under the window, we're gonna have a sink. Obviously I already have my fridge. Then we're gonna have a sink. And then I'm thinking I'm gonna get like a little island cart. I say cart because it's on wheels, so that I can store, you know, food dishes, supplements, utensils like knives and whatnot, cutting boards, all in there. Because I'm just gonna get a cheap, inexpensive like shop sink for over here. So mainly an area to like prep food, wash dishes. I want a big enough sink that if I need to soak an animal for some reason, I can do that. But then just like an island cart on wheels, just like right out here. But then, you know, if I need to move it out of the way, because obviously it would like block this whole little walkway, then I could just like wheel it out of the way. Or I could like, if I had like all the meals prepped on it, I could wheel it around the room and bring food with me. So it'd just be super convenient to have. Originally, I was gonna make this a whole closet because this stuff was gonna stay here. Now it's gonna move. But I was still gonna like block off all of this stuff because we've got the sump pump there, water heater, and all this other stuff. So I was gonna closet the whole thing off. However, there's an animal that's supposed to come to me someday, but someday is coming up rather quickly. And because this is kind of the main water area where all the water is hooked up, this would be a perfect spot for him. So instead of making this into a closet, it's going to stay open. I might see what we can do about blocking like this off, but there's going to be a huge something right here, but I don't want to give too much away. And then the big animal is currently in the grow tent, is going to go along this wall. So obviously all this stuff is going to have to move. This is just kind of like random crap that's been thrown down here. So that's kind of the vision. Unfortunately, because of needing bigger animals, bigger wow factor animals to really help improve my business and keep it growing, on top of wanting to provide still decent sized enclosures, I did have to forego my office area. Originally back here along that wall was going to be my office area where I'd have a desk, have like a craft area for like working on stuff for Etsy. I am getting to a point in my business where I just find more enjoyment in doing stuff with my art, which is all digital. I love creating stickers, creating prints. So I feel like I don't need quite as much space as I used to need. So I still would really like a walking pad and a desk that I can raise up for like editing videos and whatnot, but the reptile room right now is actually our office area. So I will still have an office technically. But yeah, I had a whole plan for like a greenery wall with like my logo on it, and yeah, I gave that up. So that's kind of the vision of the basement. So we're painting the walls white, that will be in next week. And then painting the floors gray. I decided that would be the quickest and easiest and most inexpensive way of making the floors look nice and getting rid of all of that green. So that is my next expense. I just used tons of Home Depot gift cards I was saving up to buy the wall paint. And now with the first set of what I make from Etsy, I'm going to use to buy the floor paint. From there, it's building the wall and doing the electrical. And of course I want to fix up the lighting down there, make it less basement-y. but that can be something done way after. All right, I need to find my dog. Where is my dog? Oh, he's taking a nap. The office is probably one of her favorite places to take a nap. Huh? You like the reptile room. It's nice and warm. So I say office. This is actually going to be a guest bedroom. The reptile room is going to be our office once the animals are out. Oh, I'm sorry, did I wake you up? Huh? Did I wake you up? Oh, you're so sweet. So it looks like our reptilings are pretty thawed out. So we are going to go ahead and feed. So first I need my phone because I did take a picture and mark down whose was what so that I wouldn't forget. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go a couple at a time so don't get them confused. So we got Cusco. And they are fully thawed, but before I feed them, I usually just take them, just like hold them in my hand and like finish warming them up with my hand, get them a little warmer. And let's see, this one's for Alfredo, my legless lizard, so we'll throw that in there too. While we're at it, we'll take Puka's. Puka goes absolutely nuts for these. If you want to like get a Chinese water dragon to love you, feed them reptilings. Someone is ready and waiting. Are you waiting for your reptilings? Will you take one from my hand? Because your bowl's a little dirty, and I'm gonna put them in your bowl. I don't think he's ever eaten from my hand before, so if he does, this will be a first. Also, if you have a dog, be careful, because they love reptilings, and they will steal them off the counter. And then we've got Puka, who is laying more eggs. So she's been laying some eggs lately, and she just left me 2 more. Oh, it was out of focus, I'm sorry. Was that good? So if you're breeding or you have an animal laying eggs, reptilings are actually a really great option for them because they're so high in calcium and they're nutritionally complete because they're made from whole prey items. So it's a really good way to kind of help them get calcium back into their bodies after they've been laying eggs. Well, good morning. Queso is the most nosy little creature. If she ever hears you in the reptile room, she has to come out and see what's going on. You need to back up and get out of the face. This is what happens when I feed reptilings. It's not for you. It's for the lizard. You can't have it. We'll give you a reptilings treat after. You didn't know, reptilings does make dog treats. Back up. And dogs go absolutely feral for the reptiling dog treats, including Sable. Alright, I'm gonna quickly finish feeding out the rest of these links. Let me know in the comments if you have any video ideas you want me to do covering reptilings, because almost all of my animals eat them and I love them. But I know a lot of people still usually have a lot of questions about them. So if you have any reptiling related videos you want me to do, let me know in the comments below. But I'm gonna quickly finish feeding so that we can move on with our day. Alright, everybody's fed, and I'm gonna make some lunch. I think we're gonna do some tilapia. So I do tilapia and rice? No, we're just gonna do tilapia. So we're making some lunch, and then we are going to film the video introducing my newest ambassador. Doesn't that look so good? So I'm sitting down to eat right now, but I just had to share with you guys that that new animal that I told you hasn't eaten yet, I've had him for a week and a half, he's out right now. And there's a couple things I want to mention about it. Number one, about an hour ago, I changed his heat bulb. So it's just a good reminder that you should always continue to check their heat, because when I brought him home, we had a couple of really warm days where it got really hot here. So I couldn't have a very strong heat bulb, it would have been too hot. Now it's cooled off a bit more, which means that that heat bulb isn't putting the temperature up quite high enough. So his heat was on like the low end of basking. So I was like, you know, let me try to bump this up a little bit. So I swapped out a heat bulb, which now puts him at the higher end of his basking temperatures, and he's out now. On top of that, he's also shedding. Now that explains why he's been hiding more, just kind of, you know, not really super explorative, going through sheds. Now Buddy's shedding, and he's walking all over. So I'm gonna let him keep exploring, see how comfortable he gets, and this afternoon put some more food in there, because they are nocturnal species, technically speaking. So I'm going to put food in there this evening. Pancake tortoises are such social little tortoises. Are you trying to come out? So I'm outside. I actually just finished filming the video introducing the other big animal that I have. So again, make sure to subscribe, like, follow, whatever, so that you don't miss that video on Friday and can meet her because she's being extra cute for this video. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys for Friday's video where you get to meet the animal, and we kind of continue this video because I'm ending it here so that I can then go into the video introducing this animal. Alright, thank you guys. See you later. Bye!